Great morning, great morning, great morning. I am Nicole D. Jones, and I am just happy and grateful for another day. I'm happy and grateful for life. I'm happy and grateful for you. I'm going to say it every week. I don't take days for granted. I don't take life for granted. I don't take you for granted. And I want to remind you that you are healthy, you are wealthy, and you are prosperous. Everything your hands go to touch, it must, it shall, and it will manifest, prosper, and grow great things because you are great. You're created out of greatness. Okay. I say it. I'm gonna say it. You're gonna get tired of hearing me say it. But y'all gonna say it till you believe it. All right. You're supernatural in this natural space. We're spirit with a soul wrapped in this flesh, and we have been chosen by Jehovah God before the foundation and creation of this world. Okay. That is who you are. You are loved. You are loved and you give love. All right. So every Monday morning, I'm going to remind you of that before we go any further. And last week we were talking about, and I've said it before, I'm going to keep saying it. I just like beating dead horses because they matter. All right. Who has access to you and why? And last week I told you that there are 4 roles. All right. You're either giving or receiving, friendship, associate, assignment, advisor. And I told you, what do you think of last week when you think of friendship? All right. That's the first one we're going to deal with. We're going to deal with friendship. And one thing I think is that we use the word friendship too loosely. We give the word friend to too many people. All right. Friends should A friendship has to be earned, okay? What we give to one another is love, okay? Because Jehovah God loved us, he gave his only begotten son that we may have life, all right? So we give love. But when we think about friendship, we got to get to a place where we understand that a friendship is earned, okay? You're not mandated to give love, or give friendship. We gotta stop watering down words. We gotta understand the power and the authority that we possess. Okay. So now I want to break down why we have to do that. And you gotta understand that when it comes to friendship, the reason it has to be earned is because when you choose to give someone that space of friend, you're choosing to give that person you. And this is why I think it's so important that we got to identify with our true self and not our false self. We got to get to a place where we are consciously identifying with who we truly are, whose we are, and who we are. All right. Who you are is not the titles and the roles that you carry when we're in this journey. Who you truly are is deeply loved by Jehovah God. That's who you are. So when we get to our true self versus our false self, that is what we have to begin to start measuring everything in our life. Okay. So when you look at friendship, when you're receiving friendship, you got to make sure that you understand that you are willing to give this person you. Okay. You're willing to give them the things that are in your heart. You're willing to give them your vulnerability. You're willing to get naked and transparent with your friends. This is why I said that the title of friend, it has to be earned. We can't keep giving it so freely. Okay. Now, this is why. You have to understand that the greatest gift that was given to us was relationship. All right. Jehovah God's relational. So the greatest gift that we have and that we give is relationship. Okay. So now God allows friends in our environment because of something that we need in order for us to be, all right, what we need to be for him. And what I mean by that is when you start thinking of friends, okay, you got to understand that God allows friends. He allows us to have friends that will be who they are. Because we are all learning our true self. So now, like I said, we're just going to break down over the next few weeks the 4 departments, the 4 roles that we allow people to play with us and that we play with one another. So you got to understand that God allows us to have friends. But when he allows these people to come into our life, they are being who they are. And they should be able to help you create who you are, who will create you just being for whatever your purpose is in him. Okay. So friends help you carry out your calling. Man, I got so much. I'm trying to talk fast because I want us to get through this. Okay. Definitely go back and listen to this. Take your notes after. I want you to listen. I want you to have an ear to hear today. All right. So now, what are we looking for in friendship? Okay. We talked last week about loyalty. And I kind of said that, yes, we want loyalty in friendship. We want loyalty in relationship. But do we have an unhealthy loyalty or do we have a healthy loyalty? All right. So unhealthy loyalty is what's committed to your wants. So if you have that friend, like I told you last week, they could be your ride or die and, they whatever you want, because I'm loyal to you. I got your back, right? Loyalty is that. But is it an unhealthy loyalty? So when you are in the process of being the best version of you unapologetically, you're in the process of doing that in a posture of submission and humility, not arrogance and pride. So is your friend's loyalty healthy, where they are in a place where they're helping you, or are they unhealthy? So when you get angry with someone else and you want to go give them the business, and they deserve it, they dead wrong. They deserve whatever wrath you want to bring to them. Is that friend cheering you on to do it? Or is that friend cheering on your true self? So when I'm saying loyalty and unhealthy loyalty is the one that's loyal to the things that you want. But a healthy loyalty is loyal to the things that you need. Nicole, I know they just did that. I know they just lied on you. I know they just ran your name. Woo, Lord, and don't let them run it where you be. Don't let it run. Don't run that name to them saints. Okay? What is a healthy friend gonna do? Are they gonna encourage me to go put my religion on the shelf and give them my flesh? Or are they gonna encourage me to be who I am, to know who I am, to stay integral, to stay in my character that I am in the process of building in this journey? Okay? So you got to know the difference between loyalty. All right? So another thing that we want to look for is unmovable character in them. Your friend, you got to look at character. And this is why I said last week, take that same list that you've been working on since last week on who has access to you and why, and you start asking yourself these questions. All right? Do they have unshakable character? Do they help you or do they hurt you? Them having access to you, is it leveling you up or is it dumbing you down? Okay? These are the things that you got to look at. Number 2, who you're with. No, this is what I need you to understand. Sorry, this is still under this. You need to know that who you call friend is one who helped you decide your future. Okay? Let me say that one more again. Who you call friend is one who helps you decide your future. Well, how is that? Because they're the one who is helping you mold your character. They're the one who is putting deposits into you to help you become the best version of you. Okay? So this is why I said we got to look at the word very differently. We got to look at ourselves very differently in order for us to be able to gauge it the way we need to. All right? You got to also think about their character, because you know that God moves in seasons. So what happens? Because remember, with a friend, you're giving yourself, you're giving your soul, you're giving your intimacy, you're giving your heart, you're giving your vulnerability. When the season shifts, do you have to sit and wonder what this friend is going to do, what they're going to say? Because what if they don't take the shift as good as you do? You're hearing from Jehovah God. You're understanding pivots. You're understanding seasons. But if their character does not display to you that they can handle those things, you got to look at the big picture. One thing that I'm grateful about now, anyone that I consider friend, anyone that walks and has access to me, I don't worry. I don't worry about what happens if we stop talking. And by faith, I believe that they feel the same way. If something transpires and we have to not talk as much, I don't want anyone to walk away wondering if I'm going to share what they've shared with me in their intimate time. Okay? This is what you have to think of when you think of friend. What is their character? And is it stable? Okay? Not is it complete, because we're all a work in progress, but is it stable? Is it unshakable? Are their core foundations unmovable and healthy? Number 2, friends, they have unconditional love. A friend loves you all the time. That's good, bad, ugly, on your mountaintop, on your valley lows, okay? Their love is unconditional. Their love doesn't change. Their love is not situational. You don't love me because I got it going on and I'm spending my money on you and I'm taking you on trips. It doesn't change when I'm broken, when I'm weathering storms with my daughter, with my son, with my husband. That love should be unconditional. It should be the same. Now, it and ultimately, thank you, it should cover. It should cover. The covering should stay consistent. And it should not be built and based on condition. Okay? And you got to understand that love is not affection. Love is not affection, all right? Love is actually an action. So you got to ask yourself when you think of friends, how do you deal with me when I'm up? How do you deal with me when I'm down? Okay? Now, it may not, it's not going to feel the same because you are not in the same position. But is the love consistent? Do they go ghost? Or do you know when there may not be as much contact that they're still praying, they're still covering? Because I know for me, when it comes to friends, and I feel like, or I see that it's something that's not healthy for you, it's not necessarily as easy for me to just sit and keep the bobos with you all day because it hurts me, okay? But at this point in my walk with my friends, I want to believe that they know, even if I don't give them the affection, I've not stopped praying. I've not stopped interceding. I've not stopped fighting, okay? So, unconditional love. Now, number 3, friends will be honest with you. They're going to tell you the truth, all right? In love, all right? So we still have that love, but they're going to be honest with you. Then once they're honest with you, they're going to cover you. And then once they cover you, they're not going to judge you. Now, they may have to gauge things and situations and whatever, they respect your decision, okay? But they're going to always tell you the truth, even if it's not what you want to hear. Because you got to remember, a friend is in your life to help build your character. A friend is in your life that helps you with what you are becoming and what you will be in the future, all right? A friend is dependable. They're reliable, okay? A friend is dependable and reliable. A person who tells you they're going to do something, have you sitting waiting, they don't come. Listen, because this is the thing. When you are dealing with friends, you are dealing with someone who understands that time is valuable and we can't get it back. So they don't want to waste your time. They'll be intentional with you, okay? And things happen, things come up, but a friend is going to communicate. They're going to talk to you. They're not going to leave you just waiting, because now they've wasted your time, but their time was spent wherever, okay? So you got to make sure that's even, all right? They're dependable, they're reliable, they pay attention to you. Number 5, a friend also encourages you, all right? They encourage you, they influence you all the time. See, when it comes to friendship, because I told you, it's both ways, all right? It's give and take. Their character, their life, their posture, their walk through this journey, it should be something that encourages you, all right? I'm not saying the words of encouragement. I'm talking about you see something that they do and it strikes something in you for you to be a better version of you, for you to be the best version of you unapologetically, okay? These are all things that I want y'all to think about when you're thinking of friends, okay? So they're a helper. They help level you up. One thing that you have to understand too, those are really the 5 things. But as I'm talking to you, we got to remember that joy is the greatest gift we can get from relationship. And it comes from God. The joy of the Lord is your strength. Okay? What God is a relational God. So he gives us relationship. Your relationship, especially your friendship, it should bring you joy. It should not add sorrow to you. Man, your friendships should have evidence of the joy of the Lord. Why? I don't care if you say you don't believe, it don't matter to me. Your spirit, okay? So because we're spirit, because we're supernatural in this natural space, it just is what it is, because Jehovah God is a covenant God. So even in everything that you look for, you should be looking for covenant, all right? Not contractual, but covenant, okay? So your friendships, especially your friendships, all right? Because friendships are a rarity. Friendship is something that comes directly from God. He allows these people to come into your life and be relational, that you can be intimate with. Intimacy is not just man and woman, okay? It's when you can give that vulnerable place. And joy should come from that. Joy, the overall picture. Your friendship should not make you exhausted. Oh, gosh. Oh, Lord, help me. All right. Your friendship should be in your life to help you sustain the joy that God has promised us. Man, listen. I want you to, this week, really think about the people that have access to you and why. I want you to think about friendship in a different way. I want you to think about it, because when this journey comes to an end, listen, this is a fixed fight and we've already won. So we got to learn to receive, like I told y'all, we're going to receive the gift of us. We receive the gift. We're not trying to create the gift of us. We're receiving the gift. I'm receiving the gift of Nicole D. Jones. I'm receiving it. Okay. So when it comes to friendships, we have to be able to receive joy from it, because friendships are rare, but they are ordained. When we get to the end of this journey, if the end of my journey is in a posture like my grandmother knew she was transitioning. She knew the day. She told us, like, listen, I was in Maryland, she was in Texas. She said, call Coco and tell her if she want to see me, she got to come now. Prior to that day, prior to that Friday, she had been telling me I could wait. But she told me, my dad called me in tears and said, Mama said, if you want to see her, you got to come now. I went to work. I was on my way to work. It was a Friday morning. Cried so hard, I called Nancy. Nancy had to talk me through it. Like I couldn't even see. I think she may have told me to pull over. I can't remember. But I got to work and I told him I had to go. I called my husband. I got a ticket. I came home. My brother was here. Mark and James took me to the airport. On the end of her journey, she was not looking for things. She was looking for people. Okay? When you think of friendship, we got to start prioritizing things. Who are you looking for? See, those are your friends. Who have impacted you? Who do you want to see before you go to your final destiny? Man, this just got real deep. Lord. All right. Friendship should develop us in areas that we can't develop ourselves. Friendship should develop us in, I can get a job and I can get money and I can develop my environment. I can buy a nice home. I can get nice cars. Friends don't have to do that for me. Okay? A friend should be able to develop in you the best version of you unapologetically. It should be in help to what you can't do alone. That's why these things that we need to be looking for is so important. Because your transformation, it comes from what you're exposed to. Good, bad, and indifferent. This is a dark world. This journey called life is going to bring darkness. So keep your friendships in the light. Because what you encounter, what you're exposed to is what transforms you. Let me see. There are some things that you will never become until some people come into your life. This is why we have to be so mind conscious to keep people in the right place, understanding that it will shift. Okay? Friend, associate, assignment, or advisor. Listen, what time is it? 10:25. Okay. Oh, man. When you think of friends, just go away with this. Y'all definitely, I'm going to make sure I have this up today. You got to make sure that you understand. And in all these roles, it's like a deposit and a withdrawal. Okay? So when it comes to friendship, if the withdrawals outweigh the deposits, then maybe you have that person categorized in the wrong space right now in this season. All right? It just is what it is. Because you got to understand that it's give and take. Relationship is give and take. And we don't necessarily give the same thing, but it should always be an exchange. All right? When your withdrawal is more than a deposit, because here's the deal. The way that I may have to deposit into someone, the return may just be appreciation. It may just be thank you. It may be a substitute for relationship. Okay? I have a brother that is deceased. I have a brother and we're a little estranged right now in this season. All right? But at the end of the day, when it comes to my family, that spot of brother is not there. But God will give me a friendship that I'll have a brother. So my deposit to that person may be a listening ear. It may be advice. It may be this call. It may be financial literacy. But their deposit to me is them being able to fill that space of brother. Okay? So you gotta make sure people are in the right space with you, especially friendship, because friendship comes directly from God and it's a rarity. Man, When you have a friend, you have to nurture that relationship. You have to nurture it. That's why you have to know, man, because there's power in connection. You got to remember that friendship, you got to know what it's producing. And if it is not building your character to be the best version of you unapologetically, we just got to go. We don't have to throw people away. Okay. There are four different categories that each one of us fall into. But the reason I say gauge this, you got to start. See, it's easier to see things than yourself. It's easier to see people than it is to see yourself. But you know, I'm going to turn this around in this last minute. We are learning to be the best versions of us. This week, I want you to be intentional to gauge those people who have access to you and why. Gauge them by those things, because ultimately, in order for you to receive friends, you have to be a friend. So you start identifying these things, but the last person I want you to identify is you. Do you give those things? And are you in a place where you deserve to receive them back? Okay? So it's 10:30. I tell y'all, never belabor your time. I got more, but it's okay. I think that's enough. That's mind-blowing. But I want you to remember to stay focused, to stay humble, to stay positive, to be the best version of you unapologetically, because nobody else can do it better than you. All right? I want you to continue to have a fantabulous rest of the day. Smooches.